You see where,
You say we're live.
Yeah, it's like a half a second away, so I was like.
you need some milk.
An iPad at this time.
All right, I got 6:30. It's third month, fourth day of 24. Pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. I guess the first thing on the agenda is letters of interest for Naked Kansas. Roll call. Letter of interest first, it said. Oh, roll call.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's here but the open seat. All right, table is yours.
Let's see, we have 3 applicants for the 4. And, huh? Yeah. And,
We know where you went to school.
and I see that we only have 1 of those applicants here in front of us.
Dave's
Two.
at work.
Dave's at work, all right. So we can't ask questions of the ones not present. So I'd like to ask questions of one. Jessica, would you stand up and introduce yourself to us, to council?
I'm Jessica Fallon, and I live on West Main Street, and I've lived here for 12 years. I used to live above Ralph
Yep.
when I first moved to Amanda, and I run my own business. I do daycare out of my home, so that's really about it.
Husband works at Midwest.
Yep, my husband works at Midwest.
What is your goal if you get appointed to council? What is your goal? Do you have a specific goal in mind, or what is your thoughts on helping the village, or what is your goal, or why do you want to be on council?
I just want to help the village. I don't have a specific goal, but fill in where is needed. I do a lot of community stuff anyways already, so just something I'm interested in, I guess.
Okay.
Now, you do know if you do a lot of community stuff, we have to walk that fine line.
Oh, I know.
You'll be an elected official first, and that'll be secondary.
Right. I watched the minutes on
Yeah.
it, so yeah.
Yeah.
And we have guidelines that several of us that's newly appointed and elected, we have to do certification to be part of council. That is something that we all have to do.
We all gotta take sunshine.
Sunshine law, and then there's an EPA that, and the FEMA that we on, each one of us have to look into to make sure we are covered by council to get assistance from those organizations.
Wonder if they make a computerized training guideline for that. The FEMA stuff.
I don't know. I just know you have to go to their site to take the test and get your stuff, but
Almost everything's online now. COVID changed that about filling things.
Okay.
I do know that the certified public records training that usually was be done, it is now online. They don't have anything going on right now too, so that's online as well.
All right, do you feel comfortable getting certified in whatever we would need?
Right.
I will make the motion to accept the application for Jessica Fallon to be appointed council because she is here and present tonight.
Well, when I'm working,
Right, I understand that.
I feel like Jessica is a vital part of the organization that I sit on the board with her. She is really very organized and has been a godsend on many occasions. So I'd like to second
I'm going second.
I was gonna second.
You can third.
You're gonna have third, fourth.
Buddy, if you're gonna do this, you better be first.
Third.
All right, Jessica's been nominated for the open seat. Got that vote.
You ain't got to vote yet.
You just said you were gonna fourth and third.
No,
Now you gotta make it official.
Vote for,
Yes.
Yes.
looks like 5-0.
Who seconded it?
Now you can clap.
Now she can take her seat.
Congratulations, Madam Council. Come here.
As soon as you Mark swear you in,
Yep.
Come here, I guess
Elizabeth.
Mark will swear you in, and then you can get to sit at the table.
You'll have to come in, what is it? And, talk some people on this stuff. Tomorrow, there's gonna be about 2 hours, I'm not gonna be here, and Thursday, I have to be Beverly Hill, Marza.
Is that right?
Rest of the week, I should be here.
Yes.
That's you. Aye. Read it.
I, Jessica Allen, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of Ohio, and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the office
Council,
of the Village of Amanda in Fairfield, Ohio. Or
Yeah.
Fairfield County.
you got it. You've officially been sworn in when you get a chance to fill that in. All right, congratulations, Jessica.
Now you get to sit at the table.
All right, now we have full seats. I know you got down here for President Pro. President Pro, we're gonna renominate that.
No, that was last.
We did that last month.
All right. All right, Jessica, sit down. People before council.
3 minutes.
Thought we did that.
Approval of minutes is next.
My brain's not all the way here today, guys.
We understand.
Approval minutes. Any questions, suggestions, additions, or subtractions?
I moved the
You gotta
approved
do it
minutes
now.
from last week.
Yes,
Make motion to accept the minutes as written.
Mr. Martin made the motion to accept the minutes. Have a second.
Second.
Don Simpson made the second. Vote for. Jessica, don't get overwhelmed, all right? First couple meetings, you're gonna be.
Get you the stuff.
Yeah. All right, people before council. Do we have a presentation from? Oh, I know this.
You
And
guys
Jessica
know me.
Stemmel from the Amanda
Who?
Harvest Festival.
You know me. Well, those who don't know me, I'm Lacey Pinkstock. Dave Price is actually my dad.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
we all
sorry.
know.
Yeah, you all know me. I know you
Come over
are.
here and let me hit your knee.
No, I do not need
She
a third
looks, she
surgery.
looks like her mom.
I do.
You do.
Oh, I'm sorry about
So I
that.
have these for you guys for our harvest festival. You don't need one, but you two will. Here, I'll give you the two. Here's yours, and, oh, thank you. Yours.
You go.
Okay, so
I printed it. I know what it looks like.
as you guys know, I am Lacey. I am the president of the Amanda Harvest Festival.
I'm Jessie, I'm the secretary.
Yep, that we
What
started.
was your name?
Jessie.
Thank you. Guess I'll just keep word vomiting. So first and foremost, we wanted to thank you guys for allowing us to have the festival last year. I wanted to go over a couple of our successes and then kind of ask for a few things to hold our festival next year. So our successes for 2023 was we were able to donate plenty of food items to the food pantry. We had a really successful church outreach. All of our vendors gave really great feedback and they all want to come back next year.
This year.
This year, sorry. Our food trucks they sold out. Our 2024 startup costs are already covered, so we expect to be a lot bigger this year. We plan to add 50 plus vendors, several more food trucks. We were actually asked at our last meeting to partner up with Aces Against Cancer at the school. They want to do either a mobile mammography like bus, or they want to set up a skin cancer screening tent. So we were going to call that Saturday of the festival Aces Against Cancer Day. So for this year, we wanted to ask you again for our festival. We wanted to ask for the road closures yet again. So since we are going bigger this year and plan to be bigger, so like last year, the main intersection to John's and John's at Church, and then we wanted to do John's to High as well because we're gonna have so many more food vendors. That way, it gives us access to our electric box that we have we pay for every month. There's a potential for High to John Street, from John Street to School Street up here, if the Aces Against Cancer want to do the mobile mammography, because that's going to take up a lot of our room. And for a potential for cruising. So we're still trying to work out the kinks with Aces Against Cancer with all of this. So we would ask for the road closures, the signs for like the parade route that we have. We would like to have access to the fire hydrant thing. I can't think of what it's called. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just the adapter that goes on it.
The adapter. We would like access to that again as well. And then the noise permit to be moved to 10 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. We don't plan on having our festival that late. However, with setup, tear down, whatever vendors are going to do, we don't want to.
It is
Go
10
against
o'clock
the
on
ropes.
Saturday, Friday, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it's till 9:30 or 9, if I look
I
at
thought,
it.
whatever, yeah.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you feel like 11?
So, you got the
Mhm.
dates is September 13th, 14th, and 15th.
Yes, sir.
Questions?
What was the street you was blocking off again?
So we're gonna block Main Street here, actually, here, if you kind of want to copy this, it's not accurate that way, but like this would be Main Street here from the gas station here to the intersection down here, so we don't block off the funeral home.
That's a gas station instance.
No,
Mhm.
this will be gas station, this would be
Down
John Street.
John Street, yeah.
So we have this side kind of as like the mill, so we know what side we're going off of.
Mhm.
And then this would be John's, this is Church,
Church stuff, all right.
and this would be High. So we would like to block off from here, down to here, up this way, and down this way.
What does Subway say about it?
We actually wanted to get permission from you guys, and we wanted to speak with them as well. They had a lot of foot traffic,
Oh, okay.
like a whole lot of foot traffic last year during the festival, because everyone wanted coffee. I'm gonna throw stuff at you. Coffee and like breakfast sandwiches.
not getting the vote.
The only thing I see if we do up in front of the old Lutheran church up
Yeah.
here, we gotta make sure that we have that for vehicles to get through, emergency
Yes.
vehicles.
Yeah,
Well, for traffic going around through too and everything.
Yeah, because
That's why
you can't,
you
if you're
know,
blocking Main Street, you can't
If
hardly
you block
block.
John High Street,
Yeah.
there's no way they
Right.
can get around.
right.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
You said something about cruising too?
Well, we're in the very early stages right now of this. Our main concern wasn't necessarily the cruising. It was if the Aces Against Cancer wanted to bring in like the mobile mammography bus. We could always ask the library if we could have access to their parking lot
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
Instead of blocking High Street from school to John's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just,
That would be kind of.
I don't think you could
We used
hardly
that
do that
last
because
year.
that would,
Nope.
it would
Well,
really
we
hurt
were
for
there.
fire protection and
You
it
guys
would
had the
also
whole
hurt
street
for
last time.
traffic flowing
Right.
through because
Right.
we loop them down and
So-
around Church
Right.
Street and back, so.
So they could probably get hold of the fire department and park it where they park the Red Cross bus when they do blood. maybe?
Yeah, that's an
Yeah,
option
they can
too.
do it up at the firehouse.
We don't
I
even know
don't-
for sure if we're doing the.
Well,
Right,
yeah.
right.
But-
If
It's
she's
ideal.
if they're just wanting to set up like a skin cancer screening tent, obviously we would give them space within
Yeah.
our
Mhm.
boundaries.
I know the firehouse will be empty and everything else. That'd be no problem on that.
Okay, yeah,
On the parking lot and everything else.
okay,
I can
yeah,
bring that up to the trustees and let them know
Okay.
that you guys are interested in doing it, so
right.
We appreciate that.
Yeah,
be no
absolutely.
problem.
Can I take this? Yeah, thank you.
His bark's worse than his bite.
Wants to approve this?
I said his bark's worse than his bite.
Okay, need a second?
Yes.
A vote for approval of the Harvest Festival
I have
dates.
one thing.
Yes.
If where we put that screening thing,
Mhm.
we ought to have people watching, make sure traffic goes real well and assisting people getting across the intersection so we don't have anybody get hit, like up there at the intersection
Yeah.
at the library,
Yeah.
to assist to make sure people get across without getting in the flow of traffic.
Right, and maybe that's something I could speak with Kina and Jolie about as well. Maybe if they're, because they have to man it. This isn't
Right.
like a harvest festival. This is gonna be the AIDS Against Cancer thing. So they would have to man this.
Okay, that's
So
just
I will-
my concern.
Yeah.
If it's not with the festival itself and it's kind of at a
Right.
off-site, we'll have to watch traffic, people walking.
Right,
That's what I mean, people walking with the flow on middle traffic.
right.
Okay,
All right, I have first and a second, a vote for.
yes.
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Do you have anything, Chris?
I'm gonna go.
No, do you have anything? I'm sorry.
No, I just came and got my daughter.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
So she's not bugging you guys.
She's all right.
Oh, you said how much squishy, so.
No,
Yeah.
no.
All right, Mr. Hedrick.
All right, well, Light Street, they, spoke with Alan and them last week. They're hoping to have it out for bid by this Friday. So that was the last I heard when I talked to them last week. So Light Street should be going out to bid here real quick.
We just need approval.
Yeah, we do need approval from council to go ahead and let them do that.
Would that be an ordinance form? Or
Just-
voice?
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Hedrick's brought up Light Street paving bids to be going out.
I'll make a motion for exception.
Ralph makes a motion, accept, and a second.
Don, what?
Don,
Okay, what's your one?
I vote for to apply for the grant monies to be released.
Going out for bids.
Going out for bids.
Yeah.
Same thing.
To help our new member, Light Street runs from the school parking lot where the primary building down past where it used to be, and it runs clear on that side of town. And does it go to all the way to Benny
No, don't go to my house.
Casey-
If you want to pave it to my house, that's
I
okay.
believe so, yes.
Yes.
Goes out to school
That
street.
bid is a $450,000 bid that they're going to give us, hopefully give us, and our portion of that is roughly $90,000.
Well, we have, I think 80 some that we pay out of pocket now, or 90 some, and then we have an 80 some loan that we're gonna pay off in a couple of years.
So
And the rest is
Is a
covered by
grant.
grant. We just,
Grant.
the grant has already been approved, we're just going out for bids.
All right, Benny, you still up?
Yeah, crack seal, I met with the guy today. We went around, looked at the streets we're going. And supposed to be getting me a price to do, School Street, Lute Street, and John Street, go down to Church. And then we're also going to do the cul-de-sac on High Street, the consolidation from Light Street down into the cul-de-sac. And then, that will take care of the crack seal for this year.
We had, budgeted 20,000, and if the quote comes in tomorrow, the quicker we can get it scheduled, the better. So if it is right around the 20,000 mark, do you guys want to go and approve it now, or do you guys want to have a special meeting just to approve the thing, or just have Benny, his discretion, if it's within our budget amount?
You got 20,000 budgeted for it?
For it, yes, for.
how much can we go over that?
Well, whatever we go over, if we go over it a little bit, that's just less alleys that we do, because we're getting the quotes for the alleys that we were getting done this year.
So this is just crack and seal on what he's
Yeah.
talking about.
This is
That's
just
my next
crack and
comment
seal,
is the alleys, what alleys?
The alleys is the remaining alleys that need to be done. We're gonna get a quote for all of the remaining alleys. And then if the, 2 alleys that need to be paved makes it go over our budget amount, those 2 alleys will be waited till next year.
So this company is doing the crack and seal, is not doing the,
No, it's the
Charge it.
same company that we had do the
Okay,
crack seal last year, And we've got Keystone getting the quote, which is the ones that
So
done the alleys
we're
last
looking
year.
at both of those at the same time.
Yes. And right now, I think what was it, 89,000 and something that we have set aside for the alleys. But then, like I said, if the crack seal goes over a little bit, it's just reduced how much, and then whatever, but we'll get, you know,
Then do you recall how much that was the last time?
it was a little over 13,000.
So basically the same amount of surface.
I think I would say we're probably looking at the 13 to 15,000 probably. I'm just guessing. I mean, you never know. Of course, the way prices change anymore, I hate to give you, well,
Because it was Maine and Oak last year.
we did Maine, which was that's the longest street in town, obviously.
So Benny's suggestion is that try to keep it around 20.
Yep.
And that'd be budgeted amount,
So if it's under 20, he can go ahead and do with the crack and seal.
what his job is.
And if it goes over that,
Goes over that, I'll have to bring it back. If
we
it,
have to bring it back to council.
right.
Okay.
I should know. He told me he'd have me the price in a day or so. So
Do we have to make a motion on it?
Yeah.
I make the motion to give Benny permission for the crack and seal on the streets. He said, as long as it's under 20,000. If it's over 20, he has to come back in front of council. So I make that motion.
Second, all four. That's pretty good in the hand up.
From what I understand, anyway.
all right.
I'll go over
The
that.
well, we still haven't gotten any approval from the EPA yet. They were down. It's been about a month ago, and we still haven't got the approval to go ahead on it yet. What it looks like, where they initially was going to put it, they moved it over more towards, actually right in front of the water plant instead of being over in the corner. So I don't know, but that's where they wanted it. So we sent in all the paperwork that needed to be sent in. Alan did. So we're just waiting on them to get back with us. I mean, council's already approved the money to drill that. Boardman's already given us the price and everything. So it's just a matter of we're just waiting on the EPA to give us the approval to go ahead and do it.
Oh, can I ask a question? So what happened, is the paperwork, remember how you said that that appointment with EPA officer was coming the next day after our first meeting? So did they come and what did they say?
That's when they decided that they moved it from, it was going to originally be over in the corner closest to that dugout by that ball diamond. Now they've moved it over on the other side of that well, almost right in front of right smack dab in front of the water plants where
What was their reasoning? They didn't say.
they didn't say the
That's what
group.
I figured.
They just said that they thought this was a better spot for it. Alan and I didn't argue. We just said, well, if that's where you want it, that's what we'll do with it.
So
So,
probably at their mercy on that.
so yeah, you're not going to argue with them because you're not going to win. I can tell you, I've been down that road too many times with the EPA. I mean, you're just better off to go along with them and try to do what they ask. But I will say one thing. The girls came in. They'd never been in the water plant before, and they went through our water plant, and they had nothing but high praises. They said they've never seen a water plant look like that. And all the ones they've been in the state of Ohio, they said it is amazing how clean and stuff it is. And of course, Ralph can get some of the credit for that because he put down the floor when he was. But it's got one of those nature stone floors in it, and it is the inside. The tanks are. Matter of fact, sometime I think it'd be nice for council maybe before the meeting to come down and take a tour of the thing and see what it looks like. That way, if somebody asks you something, you guys, I mean, I'd be more than happy to let you guys look at it. It's really nice. I mean, we're proud of it. I know Ralph put a lot into it when he was there, and we keep that place spick and span on the inside. So, but I mean, hey, it's servicing water.
No write-ups.
No write-ups. No write-ups. So
We got rid of her.
yeah, we got
You remember
about 15 years ago, didn't we? 10 or 15 years ago.
whatever her name?
Carolyn O'Neill.
Carolyn.
Yeah, she was a dandy. Okay, we won't get into that, Ralph.
Huh?
We won't get into that.
She was a piece of work.
All right, the culvert down here, we're just waiting on the weather to get good. They should be back here probably, I would say, within a month or so and finish the seed and straw and stuff down there to get that finished up down there. Alan and Emma is working on that grant for that Duralator. I don't know how soon we're gonna be able to do that, but we're looking at,
He
you know,
said that we should know anytime.
yeah, he said it should be something coming back before too long, letting us know what's going on with it. There's only one other thing that I want to bring up. We've had some issues at the lift station down on Church Street. And I hate to bring this up because I love the school as much as anyone. But our problems with that lift station down there in the last 2 years is coming from the school. And I couldn't prove it for the longest time, but now I can. Because I had the guys, they put a grate in the manhole coming out of that school building, and we've been catching mop heads and stuff, big mop heads that was getting in our pumps and plugging the pumps up. We was having to have EC Babber come down and pull in pumps and clean them. Well, since August, we've been really good, but one got by last week.
I don't
Or
see
2
how
weeks
we
ago.
got sealed drains and all that.
Well, when he pulled it out of the pump, I took it out and showed it to Dr. Edwards. And he's aware of it. How they're getting in there, I don't know, and I'm not gonna get into that. That's not but and I'm just gonna give you my opinion only. As much money as we spent over the last couple of years to have that done, I think I'm just recommending to council, maybe we need to send them a letter and say, hey, if this continues, we're gonna start sending you the bills.
I agree.
It was
I mean-
over 17,000 we paid out.
In the last 2.5 years, we have an EC Babber down here pulling pumps, cleaning pumps and check valves out in that lift station. And like I said, for the longest time, and finally last year, it was happening every couple of weeks, we'd have to have them down here. So that's when the guys built a grate putting that manhole up there. And since then, we've caught most all of them. One of them just how it got by, we're not sure, but here a couple of weeks ago, one got by, we plugged everything up again. We had to have Babber down here to pull the pumps, and that's when I took to Dr. Edwards and showed it to him. So, I mean, that's council's, I'm just making a recommendation. I think maybe they should be sent a letter just saying, hey, if this continues, we're gonna be forced to send you guys the bill for this because we just can't afford to keep
I agree.
doing it. Now, like I said, I can't do that on my own, but if that's what council wants to do, then I think that's maybe that, at least let them know. I mean, Dr. Edwards is aware because I personally went right to him and took it and showed it to him. So he knows.
Well, I agree with you and everything else. I think we ought to send them a letter if it happens again from mop heads.
Yeah.
Bill them. Because they
How much
shouldn't be
was it?
putting billing in it.
17,000 for 2
Over
times.
17,000 the last 2.5 years of just mop head issues.
That comes out of the top end too.
Yeah, that's what I say. I mean, and that's,
Because we pulled every receipt for the last 2.5 years. and
I had
only
Terry go
pulled
back
the
and pull them
ones
all.
That had mop head written on it.
So we can't trace that for sure.
We can now. Yes, we can. Because like I said, with that
For
grate in that
instance, and
manhole.
I'm gonna use Elizabeth here.
Exactly.
If she does something to her house, is there any way tracing it come from her house?
That would be the only reason why I'm saying is because it was happening on such a regular basis. That was the reason why I asked the guys. So RJ and Rick built a grate that we stuck down in that manhole that comes out of the school where it comes into the system. And they stuck it right over that drain thing. It's caught most all of them because they've been able to catch them and we've been able to clean them out there, which that's not causing us an issue. But we had one just happened to get by. We're not sure how it got by, but it did. But we haven't been getting them on a regular basis since August. Since they did that back in August of last year, this is the first time that we've had an issue with the mop heads again.
They're the only ones on that end.
On that,
Correct.
right?
So how often do we check that manhole? Is it,
They check
since
it.
we are in charge of that sewage, or is that part of something that school should be aware of to check on a regular basis also?
It's our sewer.
We
It's
pull
our
the
sewer.
guys go
That's
out
what
and
I'm
pull the
asking.
manhole in
That's all.
every maybe once a week or something and see if there's anything there. And if they do, they try to clean it out. RJ and them, we've caught a good bit of stuff and cleaned it out, but this one happened to just get by for some reason. How it got by, we're not sure, but that's only one in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
We were getting them I guarantee you, we was having Babber down here at least once a month, and didn't we, Terry? At least once a month. until we got that, put that grade in there.
So you wanna draft the letter up and with council's approval, I'll come down and sign it?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Yeah, I mean, Kerry can draft a
Yeah.
letter or whatever, and we, oh yeah, I mean, that's up to council. That's not my decision. I'm just telling you that I think until we could prove it, I didn't want to really say too much, but now that we can prove it, I think something needs to be done.
Council,
I'll make it a motion at the end, we send them a letter and tell them about it, and if it happens again, we're gonna bill them.
second on that? Well, one of you vote for
Yes.
or unanimous?
All right.
Your hand up, Tom.
I can think that's all I've got in this part.
You see somebody raise their hand and just go,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
All right, Ben.
I'm done. I think.
Do it
I'm done.
later?
Yep. We'll do it later. We've already talked about it.
Okay.
And so I think the next one's up to committees.
And, we're going to get the committees all filled up now. Where's our list?
It's behind you on the wall.
This way she can take over some of the things.
There's
I
some
feel
of
like-
them
That's
that
what
there's
I thought.
people with three things, so that's where.
Remember we had to do fill-ins for my name because we were missing somebody, so there's some
Yeah,
for
sure.
some of
Yeah.
those committees.
I was gonna call that.
Mark,
we put Jess-
before we go on, I do have one more thing. I forgot about it. We didn't have it on here and I didn't. Jacob has resigned. He got another job. So I would like to recommend to council that we don't fill that position. I think right now with Rick said he would pick up an extra day if we needed to. And with RJ and Rick, I think we don't need that extra position at this time.
There's
It's always
really
there
no-
if we do need it.
And if we do, if it gets to the point where we need it, I'll come back to council and let you know. But at this point, I don't think that we do. And, because, I mean, maybe when we get into summer, when it really gets busy and we're doing a lot of mowing and stuff like that, maybe we might need another part-timer or something, but I don't know that we need another full-timer to be truthful with you right now.
So by not filling that position, the village is saving money.
Right.
Okay, that's a good thing.
We're all about saving money.
All right, committees. I have as of right now, Parks and Recreation, Parks and Carter. Budget, Parks and Ralph. Services, Ralph and Don. Development Improvement, Rod Martin and Carter. Zoning, Ralph Martin and Carter. Ralph, you on 3 committees?
He wanted to be up on everything. You know how he is.
Uh,
But we do need to team up. We need to have him team up with Jessica on some of those, so I don't have to be on 3 of them.
you can't have 3 members on the same committee.
Or you have to post them, so.
Yeah.
So there, Elizabeth's on 3 and Ralph's on
Yeah.
3. So maybe we can eliminate one of each of theirs and add her,
Yeah,
is what I'm thinking.
yes.
It's your call.
I gave up zoning.
Really?
Yeah.
You wanted that one. I remember it. You were like,
Nobody wants that one. I think Benny does a lot of the zoning.
Yeah. I do
ordinances.
zoning stuff anyway.
So, you know. So who wants the zoning spot?
Benny.
No.
I
you
can't
have
do
to
it because
have
I'm the
committee.
council member. I even though I take care of it,
It's your call. It's not my call.
So can we have that paper so I can look? Because I don't have
Your
it.
last one.
Well, I can't remember.
This has it as well. What's all
There you
on it.
Okay, all right.
I only make the decisions when you guys don't.
1, 2. That's out, so 1, 2. So we need somebody on zoning. Let's see, parks.
The zoning ones was if we have the special meetings, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Zoning is if you have to change the regulations,
Yeah.
because,
Okay, I'll be. a
because we have an
plus
appeals board that does
Yes,
those
okay.
meetings. It's only if you need to change what the regulations are, then you would need to change the regulations. Now, they meet if there's somebody that doesn't variance or.
No,
Yes,
no,
okay.
you're
And our zoning code is
There.
pretty.
Okay.
pretty
Yeah,
bad.
I'll just stay on the zoning, but you need 2 people on it
right.
Yeah, there should be 2 council members on there.
Would you like to be on there?
with me? Sure. The zoning, okay.
All right, so that makes it right then.
Now,
No.
when
somebody
somebody's
else-
on zoning, the mayor oversees the appeals board and one of the council members that's on the, is on there, cause it's the mayor, the council, and then residents. So I
Or
had
zoning
Ralph
appeal.
as the councilman person and mayor, and then residents, but if he's not gonna be on zoning anymore, one of you guys could take that position.
We'll guide you through it.
He's abandoning you, not us.
He's abandoned.
We have an understanding.
We do.
We always have.
Well, said we
I
do.
told Benny Hendrick the same thing when he took that job. I said, we don't trust each other. We're doo-doo.
I've never known to
Well,
go for a long
if
time.
nobody's gonna take it, I'll just stay on there.
He's gonna stay on there?
Yeah,
All right.
I'll stay on.
Who's
there,
on
Mark.
three?
I'll just stay on there.
You can't be on three.
Yeah.
You can't have three members in a first meeting.
You're on services and budget.
So you wanna do parks?
With you, yeah.
Instead of you?
You
Cause
and
I think it'd be
will
easier
run.
since you guys are already working together and see each other a lot with,
We're already talking all the time.
Yeah.
Services.
Okay.
We, well, make
Okay.
sure we got
So,
equipment and stuff.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
So Carrie will get these updated.
yeah,
I'm gonna ask for a report on committee since we got all the seats full now.
Good.
Committees, Parks and Recreation.
Okay, so, the Easter egg hunt is the 30th. I've gotten hold of one pastor so far.
Which one did you get?
Pastor Chris Hildenbrand up in the Church on the Front Line. So I've reached out to Pastor Dement, and we're playing phone tag right now. So I'm gonna keep trying with him. And then Pat Hastings gave me Chris Price. Chris,
That's a Presbyterian church.
Yeah,
the Presbyterian, but I don't know anybody at the Methodist church.
Dawn and I.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, can
Pastor Jeremy.
can
Or
you,
Gerald.
Gerald, can you take some eggs up there and ask them if they'll
Yeah.
fill them? And
He's kind of busy right now this week because one of his very good friends passed away. And he's gonna have service to it.
So
But I can take him up there.
the conversation that I'm having with the pastors at this point is that traditionally the churches have done the Easter egg hunt, and it's the Saturday
Yes.
before Easter. And so all I'm doing is making sure they get the eggs. I'll pick them up, try to help. I'm asking the pastors to help us with volunteers, and because we're giving it over to the churches.
Okay.
Now, we can still, I think as a village, we can still store the eggs and still help coordinate. I'm more than happy to do that. But I want them, it's gonna be the churches who are doing that, just the same as,
That's where it needs to go back to. in my
Yes.
opinion.
I have a question now.
Yeah.
So we have, it's noted in here that we do have that coronavirus money still.
that's what our well's getting paid for.
Exactly. But we could take, say for instance, we have Christmas holiday, we
Yeah.
have Easter. There's no way.
Coronavirus money can only be used
Yes.
for,
Certain things.
water and sewer projects or health and safety, and that's it. And it already had to be earmarked by this year, so it's already earmarked.
So what about also, remember when you were talking about how she was using some money, that grant money that she had gotten for like the safety event that she had last year, and there was still money set aside from that fund?
That is the Hedges Fund. The Hedges Fund is where these two older ladies passed away, and they left some money at the Fairfield Foundation for the school, the township, and the village.
Correct.
Now, in the past, we've used it to do some park repair maintenances. We've also used it for training, because you can only use it for specific things. We've used it for helping with purchasing of like not dump truck, but like plow trucks, because it's something that benefits the whole community. And we used it for our safety and health thing, but not to put on fairs and festivals.
So what I'm asking, is there any money at all that there's a budget like $500 a year that can help with community stuff? Since the community is paying in with the RETA tax, and we're using the money for RETA tax or whatever for like roads, repairs, the cracks, the seals, things like that.
We set aside $6,000 for Parks and Recs. And
Okay.
that also includes the electric for the building, the toilet paper, the cleaning supplies, if we have to paint the buildings, if we have to do any maintenance down there, repair any of the park equipment.
Right.
And I think last year they spent a little over 4 of it. I mean, if they don't spend that money, that's just more money in reserve for another year, but typically in the past, whenever we did any event or activity, we got donations to cover the expenses, so we weren't using government money
Mhm.
to hold a
Yeah.
fair festival. And it wasn't us doing the fairs and festivals. Anyways, it was the Soy Festival or the Fireman's Festival was Liberty
Right.
Village.
Technically speaking, the village cannot put money out for
Right.
stuff like that. We have to
Stuff for
spend,
community events. is what
we
you're
have to spend it
For
for,
parks and recreation,
Village.
for the park and rec things, but not for like a fair and festival.
right,
That's-
So the
right.
Easter egg hunt, things like that are still considered fair and festivals?
It's,
That didn't sound,
It's not
we've
like,
never put any money out for it. We've
No.
always got donations for that stuff.
the churches always did it on their own and everything else, never asked for no money. We never put any money into it. We can't put any money into it because that's a private festival, whatever you want to call it.
So to help them out, I went through all of the Easter eggs, and each of those bags has about 50 eggs in it. So the idea is that you take a bucket of eggs to the church, and an individual can take a bag of eggs, and it's just 50 pieces of candy. So that it kind of spreads the cost out amongst the individuals inside the church, and so nobody's really having to donate or pay too much, and it helps everybody out. And then I'll coordinate with pastors to get them picked up, and we'll just, try to find some volunteers within the village. So,
What date do you want them back?
the Easter egg hunt is on the 30th, so I would probably want to pick them up like on the 24th, which is that Sunday before, or sometime during that week. It'd be in the evening.
I mean, we still have like the Easter bunny costume and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
That isn't ours. That
It's
is, Luther's from Midwest, and that they've always borrowed it from him, and that's.
So what we really need to have is a teenager.
Right.
But you still need to contact him to see if you can get the costume. That's,
So
probably
at
no
this
problem
point,
with that.
I'm helping just coordinate all of the arms.
Easter's a church holiday,
So
so
I-
it shouldn't be.
so I will donate candy towards the Easter event. I'll just donate my money from the from council money, and I'll just donate it back to the community event for the community. So that means I'll donate like $100 back for Easter candy. Because we're kind of running short.
Well, I'm not buying
Okay.
any Easter candy.
No,
So
but what
if
I'm
you-
saying is if we run short, and the churches are not able to help, I will donate that money.
The church is not pretty
They will
sure.
help.
I really
They
don't
will
foresee
help.
Or at least they
any
have
problem. If
in
you
the past.
wanted
They
to,
want
though,
it back.
Yes, they wanted it back.
I would-
Time.
do you attend one of the local churches?
Frontline.
Talk to Pastor Chris.
Yeah.
When you say they want it back, what do you mean by that? I mean, what was the
They
difference?
haven't talked about it.
They,
A previous administration.
yes, it took it away from it. The
Oh.
council was trying to run it, and it shouldn't be by council, it should have been by the churches to begin with. The churches had it before. And then it took it.
So I'm trying to empower people to step up.
Yeah.
Do just like the Harvest Festival.
Right.
We created that to step up and do something good for the village, raise money for the food pantry, which is right down the street. And so that's us as an entity. And it has nothing to do with council. All we come here as a courtesy to make sure that it's okay to block all the streets and have our little event. But really, it's we're doing, as a board, we're doing that for our community. And so Easter eggs, whatever else is coming, there might be a thing for Mother's Day. We might have to talk about that. But it's going to be individuals stepping up and saying, I want to help with this and still keep this part of the community. But the council is we've got more important fish to fry.
All right, we beat that horse enough.
Yes.
Budget.
Sorry. Taylor talks too much.
That you.
That's me. It's still me, Mark. We met this past week.
Notes.
You sign
No, here's my notes in case you wanna brush over what we went over.
Oh. Carrie's pretty organized with all this, and I'm really not familiar with a lot of things.
It's just an appropriation.
So, it looks like it's all pretty organized. Everything's, do you want me to go down through this?
It doesn't matter, I just like 3 points, I figured maybe we could get that right there. The state appropriation, okay.
Oh, okay.
Is this your list?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna need a little help with this.
All right,
Sorry.
the budget meeting was held, what day?
the 22nd, or something.
It's Wednesday.
Applied for grants for the Duralator filter. That was 75,000. Waiting hearing on the grant. The well, waiting on approval, has been reviewed that. The Saltborn grant that we applied for, we all but familiar with that? I know you're not.
Talked about it last time.
Yep. So hopefully I can go get something like that going.
They said for that, we doubt we'll get anything there because the amount of applications that came in was like 3 times as much as money they had, but they're gonna reapply for next year.
They told me I could get a new water tower too.
So,
Alleys, Benny went over the alley stuff, the sewer project.
that was next year and the year
Yeah.
after.
So there's tar chipping, there's culvert payoff,
Next year.
street projects, payoff Lice Street, crack seal. It's just a review what we wanted to do this year. So I offer this appropriation to council. Then we need to vote on it. An ordinance.
This has to be sent to the auditor, and the
Okay,
auditor approves it.
How's that?
Great, thanks for the pointers.
I'll make a motion to accept the appropriations for 2020-24
For,
Second,
appropriation budget.
I'll second it.
Don. Vote for the motion. Ordinance.
I'll explain to you what that is.
Are you voting?
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, unless you want, I don't
No,
understand
just
it.
abstain if you don't understand. So it's
This is the money we get for. the
501
No.
on the vote.
It isn't.
No.
Well,
It isn't the money we get for the year.
Yeah, zoning,
with that and everything.
zoning.
Okay, zoning, I really didn't have anything, but I'm going to have one that's going out tomorrow. The new, they're in the process of putting the new home in down here. We're,
Big
cross, yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
I, went down and checked it today and measured everything and everything looks good. So they're already starting to dig the foundation and stuff for it. So
I was
it'll,
gonna ask you, did they
That would
put
be
the
an
foundation
improvement.
in there, did they remove everything in the,
they removed all the brick out of the thing because I made them take them all out of the basement.
it has to be.
And then they filled it with gravel, with like a gravel all the way up. Yep. So that one, we'll have a zoning permit issued tomorrow for that.
Yeah.
That's the only one I have.
Okay. Services.
Don and I haven't checked yet.
It's springtime coming.
You know, we're signing papers.
Okay, property maintenance, other than the one that I done last month and
So we haven't had anything else? No, that was just you.
development.
Property maintenance.
Were you guys down there today working on that?
We
Where's that?
talked
There
about
across the street from
changing
the family dollar.
Yeah.
different
We
ways
were.
of doing property maintenance. That we was gonna have an employee do it. Existing employee do it, hire somebody outside to do it like it was in the past, or have a volunteer. Mr. Simpson, I think that We have a gentleman that would be interested, we believe that would be interested in doing property maintenance. That will take the pressure off of us going and inspecting the houses or properties for trash or abundance of things. And we think having that outside person, paying them a monthly salary that they have to go, is it once a week, once a month? That they have to check that and do all the paperwork.
That's how you set it up.
I just don't fear, and for instance, I think it would be easier for us have an outside person or to say, Carrie, would you like that position? And I honestly feel you're gonna go.
Well, I already do the paperwork for it right now.
But she's
But-
Do I
getting
wanna
paid.
go out and do the pictures and do the
And-
court thing? No. not
And
necessarily.
that is opening you up
Right.
for people to come in and harass you
Right.
on the job site.
Exactly.
And having the outside person, I'm just using you as an example, or one of our street workers or council, I think it's easier we have an outside person to do that property maintenance, checking all those things.
You
than
gotta set a
having-
budget up.
How many do we get a month? I mean, how many monthly are we actually getting in? Like complaints for people to have to go in, investigate, take pictures, send it out to the courthouse. How many are we getting?
We probably have maybe 10, 15 a year. It really just depends on if somebody's actually doing it, but a lot of the issues was
Excuse me.
by complaint driven wasn't getting 90% of the violations in town because a lot of people don't make the complaint. The issue was also whether we have somebody come in once a month and drive around, and if they see a violation, go ahead and write it up, as well as complaint driven. That was the other issue. And I think we paid
$350.
$350 or something a month to the guy that did it last time, but that was all complaint driven. You know, regardless of if he had anything, we got it, that salary.
Reason why Rod's saying that, let's say you two are neighbors.
I don't care if I pee off somebody.
Well,
Yeah, I'm kind of different than us.
When you gotta live next door to each other.
I'd still be okay with making her
I
mad.
turned the volume.
I get what you're saying, because I've been doing it.
Yeah.
And I just think it's hard for us, and some of us have a thick skin, maybe you have a thick skin, I don't. Now, if we hire somebody and we have complaints, or I see things that I could email this person, it's his name that's going to be on it, correct? If I say, I got a neighbor's got 4 cars that's been in his yard for 4 years, that's not tags on.
Rod? Basically, Rod, this is a
It's whoever writes it.
committee thing that you need to be talking about and solving instead of all night here.
Okay, so explain to me by that.
There's no action being taken, so you basically just going over, do you want this or do you want that, when the committee should have a solution, or at least.
Our solution, Don,
well, they
property
present.
maintenance solution is to hire an outside person
Yes.
with a monthly salary.
Of
What is,
Whatever we was paying the last person, I'd say that would be good enough.
should we bump that a little bit since times has changed?
Are you presenting that you want to make it a complaint driven and a violation driven property maintenance, because we have to change the paperwork?
What was it to begin with?
It's
Complaint
complaint
driven.
driven. Now it can be changed to enforcement performed by the code enforcement officer upon inspections of properties within the village, as well as by complaints by residents and approved agencies. So it could be changed to where it's both,
That would be good, okay,
Yes.
but
that's the way I
then
would
it
do
would
it.
just have to be a resolution, amendment.
So if that's what council wants to do, then we can get whoever that person is, with you two and Benny, because he is the village administrator and it's part of his.
Okay. By adding, in the past, the person we hired that was hired to do that, it was on complaints. correct? So now by making part of his job that, where he's responsible for one part of that, should we bump that a little bit?
We're still doing complaint driven by the community too,
But
right?
Yeah.
we're hiring this person that he can do it without a complaint.
Where he's driving around only
Right,
one time a week or
exactly.
one time a month.
Well, that's all depends on us.
That's why we'd end up having to discuss this one, what we want.
I'm telling you, I think what we need to put a little thought and get it, the amendment wrote up.
Okay?
And, you know, this time of year, we usually gonna get one or two a month.
Right?
And, you know, we can take care of that until next month.
So we will address this.
Yeah. Then that'll give you time to whoever.
We'll discuss it and everything else.
Write it like job description.
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not trying to.
No, no,
Right,
no,
right.
Because I would have to have that information in the ordinance.
Right.
okay. Okay.
All right, anything else in property maintenance?
I don't agree. I will
Development,
show you what it is. It's not, it's not.
Nothing
It's not
on
budget.
development.
You're gonna go over it with him? Okay.
okay, old business. Anybody have any old business?
Yes, since you abstained, yeah.
I think we've covered everything, haven't we, on?
I've had some family issues here in the last couple of weeks, but I got to get a hold of the deputy. I think he wanted to be involved on that also. So, that's old business, and I will take care of that in the next week. Okay, any other old business? All right,
On the-
And that was to discuss his hours, right, Mary? That's what he's talking about?
Yeah.
Whole business, okay.
had the pleasure of sitting with Fairfield County Commissioners at the Land Use Comprehensive Plan meeting at the Workforce Center on Coon Path Road. They talked, this Vince Papandreou is the guy that is in charge of drawing up the county plan. And it's pretty intensive. But they talked about a JED. A JED is where the townships and the villages and share tax base if you incorporate. So that's very, it's becoming more and more popular. And it's called JED,
And it's the village and
the township.
township.
Yeah.
Getting,
Part of the
instead of setting a housing development, going in, let's just say across from
Yeah.
the doctor's office out there and man, the village getting all the money, the township would get part of that because it's their land to begin with before it was annexed or what we annexed, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So we talked about water and sewer upgrades as part of this plan. We also talked about zoning upgrades. Property maintenance was brought up. There's a copy of the plan right there. Carrie done a review of some of the things.
This is basically all you really need.
But the county's got it in their head that, and there's a lot of the townships and villages that don't like it. There's a lot of things in life we do that we don't like, but at least we can have some input on what we want to take out of that plan or put into that plan. So if you guys get a chance sometime this month to review that.
You can also get it online.
You say this is just, so,
That's basically the amount of numbers that they think that we're deficit, and how much they think that we should
So
grow. And
we
they
can get a
say
copy of that.
43.5 million.
There should be a map in there of projected growth.
Yeah, it's the map in there, but this is.
that,
this
and the
is what
map and that
numbers.
that you'd put in our boxes, please?
Yeah.
And I'll stop in and look.
So there's my review of that. It's very interesting. Another thing that if we don't do something like this, developers are wanting the state to take over zoning in townships and villages. So you know what that means. They'll go to the local zoning committee and they'll say, you know, we want to do this and we don't have much choice. So, all right, that's that review.
And that was the contracts that
Oh,
that was in everybody's box last month
yeah.
for the Fairfield County doing the commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to go over this.
I was putting everybody's box last month for everyone to look it over
Oh.
and decide if you wanted to do
Yeah.
it. So I put it on this old business.
The county's also wanting us to get in sort of a building department You might have a better explanation.
We have zoning here, we have property maintenance, but we don't have building codes. Currently, if there's a commercial building that comes in, they have to go to the state. Kind of like if we're building something, since we're commercial or government, we have to go to the state and get our building regulations. County's wanting to, take over for the state and do our commercial building codes regulations. So they sent the contracts. That was what was over in this box last month. So instead of us having to send the commercial ones to the state, they would take over. But
So in other words, the county's gonna come out and inspect the building when it's getting built, correct?
yeah, because see, right now we don't
We
have
don't have
building
anybody.
codes,
No.
and villages and cities have to do their own residential ones, which we don't have those codes. We only have our zoning codes, but this way the county's doing the commercial inspections instead of the state.
Now, will they be-
$50,000 budget?
This is just what they sent me.
Yeah.
I told you guys to look that over.
Yeah.
I've never even looked at it. I've never even read it. So you guys, if you guys want to talk to Bill Tool, you know, I could always set up something for him, but that was what was sent to us to get you guys. So if you guys still want to look into it more,
Now, will they charge us to come out and inspect it?
I don't know. I don't know how it works. When I was, Benny and I were down in Logan a couple weeks ago for a southeastern district
Mhm.
code enforcement meeting, and Bill Tool Associates is doing their residential ones as well for down there. And it was no charge to them because they do the cycles and they do the billing. I don't know if they send us the bill and then we have to send the residents the bill, but I don't know how that works, but like I said, you'd have to do more research. I don't know much about this besides the county's just wanting to incorporate that building code for commercial property instead of doing it to the state. So
Who gets the money?
No, that's,
it would probably, I don't know. I haven't even read it,
County.
so
County.
I gave it to you
Right,
guys to look over, so.
So is there a name for this that,
Huh?
a person that we can talk to?
Yeah, Bill
Oh,
Tool.
Bill Tool,
Bill Tool.
yeah.
Okay. So give us a chance to look that over and, see if we can get more information or personally talk to somebody about that.
Yeah, it was put in your box last
Right.
month. so-
I didn't get it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna table that till next month?
Yes.
Okay. Motion to table? Vote for tabling? There you go.
She put her hand up.
Yeah. New business.
I don't have any.
I was contacted today by Randy Perkins, and he's in with, Chris is gonna be the host church for that prayer thing they're having here. Do you know anything about that?
The what? You mean the thing at the rink,
I don't know, they said it was gonna do it somewhere down here.
No.
on the streets or what?
Yeah, just like the ones do it down
Just like
there
you
on
always do, yeah.
Yeah. And I told him, I said, there's no knock ordinances in effect. Everybody has their religious rights to do
Right.
what you want, as long as it's legal.
Mhm.
So I just wanted everybody to be advised that he did talk to me, and I told him that there is a no knock ordinance in the village, and we must obey that. And he will be working with the three churches, I think, 3 or 4.
It has to be, he must be talking about when they do that big singing event at the corner by the gas station.
I don't know.
Or the preaching thing.
It's March 21st through,
Yep, it is. It's the downtown thing across from the gas station.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want everybody to be advised that,
Yeah. They sing. and
yeah, it's,
Okay.
any other new business?
Just this.
What we've got?
I come up with some ideas. After working here for 20 years, I've kind of come up with some ideas. I presented it to Mark. I also presented it to her. and got their opinions before I put it in everybody's box. And he said to say some stuff. So I'm just going to say something short here. I've worked with the village for 20 years, and I've seen improvements to the water plant, restrooms, parks, towers, many streets, alleys, all that stuff. But I have seen us struggle with little to no funds, no means to maintain our buildings and land, no means to replace our outdated equipment. The last couple of years, we finally gotten to the position that we are finally replacing much needed equipment and maintenance on our buildings and lands. But what I don't see is programs that can be offered to our residents and building owners. And I would like to offer some ideas for 2 small programs that residents and business owners could apply for. One's a facade and landscaping grant,
I love
and
that.
the other one is the sidewalk replacement reimbursement program, which I've given to you guys before. I laid it out in this package for you guys to just look over and see what you think. In addition to that, I thought and did some research on parks and recreational programs, and I have realized our park's lacking some vital elements. Our park has the baseball for the kids and the playground for kids, but nothing really to offer anything else or anybody else, no adults or anything. And in our past, our parks committee has thought to offer festivals instead of getting to the heart of what was missing. First and foremost, Parks and Recreation is resources and services provided for leisure, entertainment, and recreational pursuits. Outside the kids, there is nothing to offer the adults. Somebody might want to get in shape, be entertained, or even that person that just wants to be more social. I put together some other ideas, everything from a pickleball court to an exercise equipment on the bike path, maybe a little small amphitheater, and even activities and programs. And I'm not talking about spending any money for doing activities and programs. I'm talking about maybe in here it even lays it out. The ag department and the sports departments at the school all require their kids to do community service. You know, we could set up a calendar and say, hey, here's some dates. You come up with an idea and we could put a calendar of events, and they're putting it on. We're not putting it on. We're just supplying the facility. We could get a hold of the Girl Scouts. They put a Gaga pit in a few years ago that we approved. Nobody knows what that Gaga pit's for. We could say, hey, once a month, the Girl Scouts come out and do a Gaga tournament. Something like that. You know, it's all laid out here and kind of some ideas. I would love for you guys to look over the ideas. If you like the ideas, you know, we could vote on whether we want to move forward on any of them. If there's some ideas that you guys might have that might want to add to this, you know, just look it over and see what you think. And if there's, you know, that's it.
I think you did a great job putting this together.
All right. Who wants to pay some bills?
Huh?
Mr. Martin.
Nobody.
I'll second it.
That was Mr. Martin. Vote to pay the bills.
All in favor?
All right. Jess, you can have the honors of asking for adjournment.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah.
This is done.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Second.
Ralph's,
Everybody in
everybody.
favor?
All right,
Yeah.
give me a
Everybody's in
second.
favor of
Let me
that.
look. Shut off the.
Okay.
Just a little quirk of mine, yeah. You'll be all right. We'll